we're back with next week's forecast. So starting off, we've got a heat outlook. I forgot the name of it. Generally speaking, there is a more leaning above normal temperatures, likely to possible. And then, of course, we've got our precipitation outlook, which does indicate above normal rainfall, which I'm going to show the map. Here is the forecasting models, and those will generally show, they give a good estimate. We can see that there's a, this is set to red. I don't really like red. I don't want red. We can see this area, see a lot of high rainfall, and even down here. So that goes similarly to the outlook. But when we have some heat and we have some rainfall, we do get concerned about severe storms. So this is mean layer CAPE. It's the average convective available potential energy, or the instability in the air. And generally we look for about 1,500. That's usually what we look for when we look for severe storms. Sunday, so tomorrow, actually this is still today. I don't really use it for today, because today we do expect a line of storms, and I'll go through that later. So if I'll put in the time stamp, you could skip over to that. Wednesday, that's a chance we might go live, although our supercell numbers are a little limited, although it's strong numbers. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So generally there's a chance we go live multiple times this week, but I typically look for a more tornado risk when I'm going to go live. And Saturday, this says 0Z Sunday. This isn't all in UTC, or Universal Coordinated Time. So it's all 5 hours ahead of us. So midnight minus 5, that's 7. So the most likely day I'd go live is probably going to be Saturday, looking at the numbers. That's 7 p.m. And there are some pretty strong numbers here. I will pull up 2 soundings in just a few minutes, and that'll be for a couple different locations. Now for Saturday, here is the Davenport prediction for a sounding. We can see that there is this really good right curvature that can typically signal a supercell. Where did my mouse go? Oh, there it is. And then again, the supercell numbers are not what I wanted to do. The supercell numbers are pretty high. The significant tornado parameters, the fixed level is high, but the convective inhibition level is lower, because there's a lot of capping, which that might save. Well, not save, because it doesn't seem like it's going to be violent tornado. That could help kind of limit everything, though the numbers are very great. Now, O'Hare, because I usually center each office. O'Hare tornado, there's a lot less inhibition, meaning that there's less capping and the storms could activate a whole lot more easier. And these numbers generally do support it. Why did my pen disappear again? Again, there's some right moving curvature there supporting supercells. The supercell numbers high, but it wasn't as high as in Davenport. However, the STP, or significant tornado parameter, both numbers are relatively high, supporting the potential for some strong tornadoes if this number holds up. I don't know if it'll hold up. And then our final sounding is going to be, oh, I guess I can't get it. I guess I'll put it from Milwaukee Airport then. And then our final sounding will be at Milwaukee Mitchell. For a weak tornado, but SARS is showing a 54% chance of a tornado. Again, strong numbers, similar to Chicago, except for that supercell is like Davenport. That SRH is pretty high. That's kind of like the spin in the atmosphere, so gets a little concerning, although that I'm pointing at my screen like you're going to see it. This significant severe number is a little lower than what we need for a strong tornado.
Now, with our severe storms, this is the most recent radar scan from the Chicago National Weather Service radar, and that is from the time I'm at. This is from about 9:26 in the morning. This is the Davenport scan, if it'll load. This is from 9:27 in the morning. So generally speaking, it's a line of storms. We can see, let me get the pen tool out, kind of a bowing segment here that might actually move more down. But then this area could start to bow. So which does show, not really bowing, but it does show kind of more clustered storms. Looking at the convective numbers, again, 1500. We're just meeting that 1500. It seems more like a wind threat, if anything. Maybe some hail. I do see a lot of hail popping up here. But I mean, it hasn't bowed as we expected. And then it cools off briefly in some areas after the storms, but quickly recovers again. So that is all for this week. We do expect more wind, hail, not necessarily a tornado. Please consider subscribing. We might go live again this week. And that's about it.